I don't accept you. I don't accept your ways and your thoughts and the way you look at me. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Dustin. Welcome to the Beardy Boy vlog, the show where I try to make digital friends. I've not done a Beardy Boy in years, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, you're doing one now because of the corona. And it'd be like, no, I actually have videos on YouTube. I have a video, more than one video, talking about how I'm gonna start this back up, probably make it more like a podcast, but also like mix it up with, film, cinematics, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your mom said. That's not the right impression. I have it mixed up. Has anybody else noticed how much they actually just cough regularly now that you're stuck inside the house all the time? Like, I know I always kind of coughed in the morning, and this is why you hear people say, like, outdoors is actually better. Just around people is bad right now, but outdoors is good because, the particles and stuff, like, fleeing? I don't know. Like, they're far away. But in your house, it's like they just lay on stuff, and then you kick it back up, then it lays back on stuff, and that's why everything gets all dusty. I mean, I'm not saying that the dust particles are all virus particles, but you get my gist. But every morning, I'm always like, and my daughter is always like a little one cough. It's like always one or two coughs in the morning and like a sneeze. And then it's usually it. But it's every morning, it's like, what? Okay, we're good. Like, what? What was that? Okay, just a regular cough. And I'm like, man, is my house really dusty? Because I have been cleaning. I'm sure like everyone else has. Like, just ferociously cleaning my house. Once I got the supplies, which took a little bit because that first like day or two when everyone was like panicking, there was like nothing out there. Even made for like the first week, because I don't think I went the first couple days. I wasn't that crazy. But I was low on some wipes and stuff at first. I think I ordered stuff online. That's what I did, and eventually it came. I remember now. How did I get to cleaning? Because it just happened. This is what I've been doing, obviously. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now I'm here. What up? I got my matching headphones and my matching hoodie. So, we're ready to rock. Welcome to the show. I'm back. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter because I was planning on doing this anyways. And eventually we're going to do it with guests. I don't know. Everyone's doing this already. It's like I feel everyone's like everyone like step back. They're like, let's all do YouTube stuff. I was like, I already did that for years. I don't want to do it again. I kind of do want to do it again. I'm actually kind of doing it again right now. So this is my issue. I feel it. Like when I get angry with talent that like takes a while to get into character or takes a while to get like the bit, the pacing correct. Because in my head, I'm like, cut. I gotta piece that together. I gotta cut that together. So every time I stop talking, or I fall out of whatever sequence my mind is in, I know I have to go and edit that out. And I'm just like angry with myself. So I'm just like, I gotta fucking sip of water. Fuck me. I am so vulgar. That's what I really wanted to be like. I like to swear, and I know it's just not. I think I always either beeped it out or made myself not say it. Oh, more China stuff. It's weird. I kind of knew it was coming because it was like set up. The news set it up in the morning. Like they know their arc. Because now everyone's watching and paying attention. And I always watched a lot of the news, but obviously now I'm reading more. I started reading way more. Because if you just watch CNN and Fox, you'll fucking want to kill yourself. I am not joking. It's not as bad this week. But those first couple weeks, holy crap. Like, even CNN still just, like, has the numbers just bam, 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 bam. Like, holy... I mean, it's like anything else. Eventually, it goes away. That little science experiment, if you put, like, a dot on the wall, which, I recommend everyone do, go get a black marker and just put a dot on the wall and then stare at that dot. And try not to blink. Just stare directly at it and don't move your eyes. That dot will eventually disappear. And telling that whatever I was talking about, that whatever disappeared, my mind disappeared because I was telling that part. And now I forget exactly what I was even talking about. First off, most recently cool project. I'm just gonna start talking about projects because I don't know what else my mind's going to, but I need to talk about projects. I made the Tailgoat with Matt Light, comedian Matt Light, and we traveled to all the away divisional games for the Pittsburgh Steelers season. And that was a really cool thing. Obviously, it's like based off our work of doing street videos. And these set of videos, Matt would obviously be the greatest tailgater of all time, the Tailgoat. And we were able to produce like themes per city that really didn't have much to do with the city sometimes, but the Cleveland one was pretty sweet. But then obviously the one in Baltimore was just gross, terrible weather. And obviously the Pittsburgh season was just grosser and more garbagey than any football season I remember ever watching, let alone the Steelers, man. Whew, I don't think other teams ever have a season like that. I'm sure they've had, but if you've been a Steelers fan all your life, obviously at my age, you don't really know what a losing season like that looks and feels like. It was rough. And to have this opportunity to do this thing for Iron City that was sponsored by Iron City, and for like just the most awful season. It did make it interesting, but you know the one time, I think it was the Cleveland, the away Cleveland game. Me and Matt partied a little too hard the night before, and it probably affected the shoot maybe a little bit. It's still good. It's still a great video, but I think I was in the game maybe for 15 minutes. You know, so we got past the tailgating. Obviously, that's the part of the video. So I did my job. But whew, that was a rough one. The night before, that was fun. It was a good time. And once again, I believe I talked about this earlier, but if you don't know, Matt can really party hard, and he proved it last night when he was doing his power hour thing, and it was crazy. He smashed 15 beers and basically DJ'd, partied all night long. And I'm sure he's going to do it again. So check him out on Facebook, Instagram, wherever he is. I think it's mostly a Facebook thing. Let's talk about, Yeah, You Like This. I haven't made one of those in a while. Though I did make one, I think, in December-ish. I might have not uploaded it till maybe January. But Facebook did not like push that out. I don't know why. People were like coming up to me and like, hey, man, you haven't made one of those in a while. And I was like, yeah, but I put one out like a couple weeks ago. And this, you know, obviously the dates, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, and they were like, what? So like it didn't. Now, obviously, when you don't consistently post on Facebook, I believe the algorithms like give up on you if you're not a consistent poster, consistent uploader, whatever you're supposed to say there. And I think that affected a lot of it. But I still tried to like, you know, do all the things, you know, the timing, tell Jaeger when he was supposed to upload or like post about it, and you know we did all those things, but you know not really. But then people who actually finally saw it were like, "Oh wow, it's like one of the better ones." I was like, "Yeah." So I don't know. We were supposed to. I never say those words correctly. We were supposed to shoot in December, and you know just busy lives, and just it didn't happen. And then you know we've been always planning it. You know, I've been thinking of going out to, see now I'm talking about things like, you know, things like, so yeah, to catch you up, that's what happened. So that dude, Alex is out in LA, and I've been meaning to go out there and, like do a couple, Yeah, You Like This, but you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm going to do it next month, you know, I'm saving up, and then, you know, oh, the world's coming to an end, oh, that's such an inconvenience. And so that happened. Also, I didn't even write this on my notes. This is how much I've buried it in my brain, especially after this coronavirus. I was very sick for like 2 years. Not like dying, well, like mentally maybe. But I got this like chronic pain from maybe a couple of different things, but it was like a physical injury. And it was immensely devastating to like do anything. Like the pain was not like first of all, it wasn't like a normal pain of like if you got stabbed or punched or you broke a bone. Like I know that pain. I've not been stabbed, but like like when you really injure yourself, it's like that like sharp pain of like when a bone breaks, like that. I know those pains. Like even like when you pull a muscle really bad, or I know those pains. But this pain was different, and it was like all over not all over my body, but it was just in the middle of my body. I'm not going to go into grave detail. Just understand it was a lot of pain, and the problem was it was chronic pain, and it was non-stopping every second of the day, no matter if I was sleeping, no matter what I was if I was in the shower, actually, I'm not going to edit that part out. It didn't matter. And it just like took over my mind, and the doctors didn't know, and then they eventually narrowed it down to like, they think it's this, and you kind of just gotta get over it. It was basically kind of what it was, and I was like, what? Okay, it was become that one of those things, and I never thought it was gonna go away. It was probably like 8 months into it. It like there was I kind of stepped off, and I just felt a little bit better, and it better like for like a long enough period of time that I was like, okay, maybe again, like I'll feel better, like this will be a process. But for that first 8 months, it was awful. And then it really was for 2 years. 2 years I was in pain every second, and it was just like this weird like 10-20% of your brain was always kind of in like either trying to not physically not think about it, or immensely thinking about it, which was an issue, and like just having that with me constantly. And I was still trying to work, but then I slowly did get better, but it wasn't until maybe July 2019 that I really was like, okay, like I remember the reason I say that, it was like, it was no longer I would catch my like full days, like I don't think I've thought about my pain today, and then eventually you get a couple days in a row of that, and you get a couple more of that, and then I don't know if this is true or not, like I still, like there's other symptoms, like I said, I don't want to go into details, that are like annoying now, and just like annoying. Like one thing I always did kind of like, it did force me to go exercise and go to the gym a lot, especially at first. I was in the gym every day for like maybe 2-3 months straight, just because that was like the only real thing that like once I really got into a hard workout or like a hard run, like the pain would like kind of go away, because I'm just, you're focused on the pain of exercising, which eventually actually feels really good. And I started to string like weeks where I wasn't really thinking about it, or not thinking about it at all. And then, but every once in a while you get like you get something. You're like, oh, there, okay. You get one of those. You kind of stretch it out, like, oh, it's fine. And but I'm always worried like it will come back, because it was such a like, it wasn't like I fell off something. It was a couple. It's just weird. It was a couple of things. Maybe my diet for overeating. It's very, like I said, I don't want to go into details. Because I'm not even 100% sure. The doctors weren't even sure. I'm not sure. I just know I was in a lot of pain for a long time. And like I said, so like since July, I really started to feel better. And at the same time, work really started to kick up. And, it was probably a little bit of both, where like, okay, work was really starting to come at me, and I was able to focus more on work and like really understand, like from a business aspect, how to get more work and do more work. And then when the coronavirus hit, like now it's been like 2 weeks in, it's like now I really now obviously now I'm talking about it, I think I can feel something, but now obviously, because it just made me realize how much of your mind is part of the pain and whatever issues you have. And now that it like switched to like, okay, I got to prepare for this virus, this crazy thing. It's never happened in the entire history of the United States. I shouldn't say that, but once or twice, something like this has even come close, and it's been forever. And so like, and I realized that, it's not that it's gotten better right now, and as in the epidemic, but like, I think everyone is their mindset's more prepared. They're more like, okay, I can kind of think more normal. I'm reflecting on just these past 2 weeks, which, you reflect again and be like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that. That I really kind of forgot about my pain. Like that was another thing. Now, obviously, if this would have happened at the same time, that would have probably been really rough. So Hopefully I edit most of that out because that is some very personal stuff there. And I can move on. And that's really the reasoning probably of like maybe I haven't put Beardy Boys up or anything consistently in those 2 years, even though I do feel like I did make some decent Yeah You Like This with Alex and actually some funny Matt Light videos. And then, client work. We've made a lot of that. And, there's a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. That you guys don't see. You can't see everything I make. I do work for other companies. Why am I talking like this? Like anyone cares what I do at like work. What do you guys do at work? What do you do? Can you video your stuff at work? Are you allowed to do that? Like who? It's like I feel like I got a huge audience. Like, I mean, I sort of do. There's 5,000 people subscribed to my YouTube channel. I can at least say that. So I guess I feel like I'm breaking news here once again. Everything is just, the timing is so wrong. Like I just wanted to talk about certain things at certain times, and now it's just like I feel like I just need to talk about it because if I don't start talking about it, things don't start to happen. You ever have that thing where it's you've always been thinking about it, you kind of have a lot of notes on it, and you feel like at some point you just have to start talking about it because if you don't start talking about it, it will not happen. And obviously I've been having meetings for months about what I'm about to talk about, and I've been wanting kind of to sneak it into some Beardy Boys, knowing it's not a big deal to kind of talk about this kind of stuff in here. Anyways, I'm like beating around the bush. There are some of my colleagues that I work with. We are combining our forces, we're combining our resources, and creating a new company that will be located at the Gateway Towers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And that's basically like the first building at the point across from the stadiums. And really excited about that. We are still in the very early stages of combining our company and coming out with the web, the whole deal. But we've been doing it for a while. We've been, and we were gonna have like a soft launch probably like in March or April. I was thinking probably April. And then have our hard launch probably in the fall of 2020. But obviously that has been completely pushed back, and we obviously are in the process of, still planning things out. But those are just, it's not like much is changing in the sense of what I'm doing. I shouldn't say that because actually a lot's changing. It's a multiple of like 10. Everything I'm doing, it's multiple of 10, and I feel like what I've always been trying to focus on, I shouldn't say always, only in the last couple of years have I think this way, was I wanted to think more on a producer, business owner role, at least to a point, still understanding that I would needed to like direct and produce projects and like obviously edit still, because I feel that is one of my stronger skills. But as I progressed and networked and been meeting with people over the years, this opportunity came up, and I realized, with my background, I just was very confident when the call came, like, hey, I'm thinking about this, and I think we should, basically merge our companies in a sense, but start a new company. This is my colleague, obviously talking, and I just was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Like, there was like no, like, I'm like, ready, let's go. Like, okay, it was one of those thoughts. It was probably also funny at the same time. This is when I said I was feeling better, like, off my chronic pain, and it was just like, okay, opportunity, like roll, whatever. Yes, in that moment, like in Always Sunny, where they just say yes to everything. Like, I feel like that's where I was. There's also the Matt Light Show, which is basically a video podcast. We were trying to do a little bit more than that, but that's kind of where we were project-wise, and we know we could definitely get out there. So we were making those, and then we kind of stopped for a while when we got busy and, with life and stuff. And then we knocked one out before the coronavirus came, and that's where we're at with that. You can check that out on all the podcast apps, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., etc., etc. That's the Matt Light Show. Be sure to check out the Company. That's the entertainment network where some of these shows you will find, like the Matt Light Show and Yeah You Like This. You can also help us out at the Patreon, patreon.com/thepets. Hopefully we'll be adding more content. I keep saying that, but every time we get an idea or something like that, the world catches on fire, or the world catches on fire. There's a every time I try to do something good, a national crisis happens, guys. Like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Follow me on all the social medias at TheBeardyBoy. It's pretty much the same across the board. Just be wary that the tweets are probably the most honest. So careful being on that one, because you're going to get in my head, and I don't want you there, really, so. But everywhere else is probably good. Instagram, I like the Instagrams. I like this. I'm on the snaps, but, I don't really accept everybody. I don't accept you. I don't accept your ways and your thoughts and the way you look at me. So this has been the Beardy Boy, and those have been my thoughts right out my beard. Whoop.